Hello, Magic English 8 here. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope they are helping you use advanced English grammar in your writing, in your speaking. And this way, I am sure that whether you're preparing for IELTS or TOEFL or any other standardized test, your score will be much higher. And the book we're going to cover today is Communicate What You Mean. We have covered 21 videos of the book. And today we are going for end of the adverb clause, which is the reduction of adverb clauses. So if we head for page 122 of the book, here you see reduction of adverb clauses. But where does it come from? If we go back a little in the book, we can see page 100 of the book, we covered subordination. And that is the process of linking one dependent and one independent clause together, like the examples that you can see here. For example, when I opened the medicine cabinet, a bottle fell out. It comprises a dependent clause and an independent clause. The combination, letter B, is a subordinated clause. Okay, and we talked about different types of adverb clauses. Here in this table, you can see that they are time, place, reason, purpose, manner, contrast, condition, and result. And we took care of all of them one by one in previous videos. But today I am going to tell you how to make them even look more professional and advanced. Why? Because with the adverb clauses, your clause has two subjects, which is sometimes repetitive. For example, I fell, I was running down. I left, I asked. And this repetition is not that beautiful or that professional. With that in mind, let's head for our word file. What does the word file say? Video 22 it is. It is covering Communicate What You Mean, pages 122 to 124. And the title is Reduction of Adverb Clauses. If you better want to grasp the idea of this video, you should have already watched videos 1 and video 19 of this playlist. I mean, Communicate What You Mean on my YouTube channel. And before we start, we need to know two concepts. Number one, clause. Number two, phrase. So I have talked about them before, but not a bad idea to recap. What is a clause? A clause has essentials, and the essentials to a clause are subject and the verb. So if you got the combination of subject and verb, you have a clause. And there could be some other parts of the sentence as well. Clauses are divided into independent and dependent. Independent clause is a clause that has subject and verb, and meaning-wise can stand alone. They are traveling across America, period. It's meaningful. But what about this one? Because they are traveling across America, so you're waiting to hear what? While they're traveling across America, again the same story. So that means we have dependent clauses. Again, you see they have subject and verb. Subject and verb. So whether they are independent or dependent, they essentially have subject and verb. And in this book, we are covering just dependent clauses. Adverb, adjective, and noun clauses. We haven't covered adjective and noun. We will, but so far we covered adverb clauses, and they are in different categories of time, place, reason, manner, purpose, whatever. So today I'm going to teach you how to reduce the subordinated clause in order to make it more professional, more beautiful. Got it? So a clause is a combination of a subject and a verb, and is of two types, independent and dependent. What is a phrase? A phrase is two or more words that does not form a clause. One more time. Two or more words that does not form a clause. For example, across America, it is a phrase. Traveling across America, verb phrase. Traveling across America with friends, phrase. traveling across America with friends in the summer, phrase. But the moment I say traveling across America with friends in the summer is fun, then I will have an independent clause. So you got it? Two or more words that are not a clause, combination of a subject and verb, clause. Okay? Just so I had it here in case you forgot it. Now you tell me, just to check. What is a clause? Subject and a verb. What is a phrase? Two or more words together. They are not subject and verb, because then we would have a clause. Okay, with that in mind, let's move. We said we want to reduce the adverb clause. How to do that? Because the subjects are repetitive, we don't want repetition. So essentially there is two scenarios. Maybe we have a to be in the sentence, which means am, is, are. Maybe we don't have a to be in our adverb clause. I said sentence? No, in our adverb clause. If adverb clause has a to be, am, is, are, was, were, or if it doesn't have a to be. In both of them, you see, omit the subject. Omit the subject of the adverb clause, and then if there is a to be, omit the to be as well. If there is no to be, add ing to the verb. Could it be simpler than this? I don't think so. One more time. We want to reduce the adverb clause. In the adverb clause, if there is a to be, omit the subject, omit the to be. In the adverb clause, if there is no to be, omit the subject, add ing to the verb. We never change the main clause, the independent clause. We always just reduce the adverb clause. And a very important point here, my friends. If you want to reduce an adverb clause, subjects of the two clauses, I mean the main clause and the adverb clause, must be the same. Otherwise, you cannot reduce the adverb clause. Got it? Subjects the same. Here, which of these following adverb clauses can be reduced? For example, when she's playing with the kids, everyone feels relaxed. You cannot reduce it. Why? Everyone? She. Not possible. But what about this one? When she's playing with the kids, she puts all her energy. This one can be reduced. How do we reduce it? Omit the subject, omit the to be, that's all. Omit the subject, omit the to be. When playing with the kids, she puts all her energy. Okay? So what about this one? Because they felt tired, we decided to. No, we, they. This is not possible to reduce. What about this? Because they felt tired, they decided to. Subjects are the same, we can reduce it. What to do? Omit the subject, there is no to be, so add ing to the verb. Feeling tired, they decided to finish the game. Feeling tired, they decided to finish the game. I will talk about this, why here we omitted, because, okay? And now some extra examples here of reduced adverb clauses, because I know how important examples are to set the grammar point in your mind. Now here it says, while he was studying for his exam, his phone rang. Can it be reduced? Subjects are the same. No, different. His phone, he. So I'm afraid that this one cannot be reduced. Number 2, after she finishes her homework, she likes to. So subjects are the same. It can be reduced. Is there a to be? No, there's just a main verb. Add ing to the verb, omit the subject. After finishing her homework, she likes to relax. Number 3, if we come up with any better plan for tomorrow, we will cancel the picnic. Subjects are the same, we can reduce it. Omit the subject of the dependent clause, adverb clause, and add ing to the verb. So here it says, coming up with any better plan, we will cancel the picnic. Number 4, before they arrive at the party, we should. They, we, So this one cannot be reduced. And you see that the book says, in general, time clauses can be reduced only. But here we have adverb clause of contrast. Here we have adverb clause of condition. They can be reduced if the subjects are the same and if the meaning lets you. Anyway, number 5, although she had worked out at the gym, she went. So subjects are the same. We can say, having worked out at the gym, she went for a run. Or, working out at the gym, she went for a run as well. So what we have learned is this one. But if you want to show that this one had PP happened before this one, you can say having PP, then the rest of. So this just shows that it has happened before this one. Okay, either of these two is correct. Number 6. As soon as he had finished his meal, he left the restaurant. Subjects are the same. It can be reduced. As soon as finishing his meal, he left the restaurant. Correct. Number 7. After she had read the book, she returned it to the library. After reading the book, she returned it. So you see, just omit the subject, add ing to the verb. But you know that when you're adding ing to this read, this had necessarily will be gone. Number 8, since she has been practicing yoga, her flexibility has improved. So the subject here is she. The subject here is her flexibility. So that is incorrect. You cannot reduce it. But if you wanted to reduce, and if, for example, it was since she has been practicing yoga, she has had better flexibility, then you would say since practicing yoga, she has and been all would be gone. But in this case, it cannot be reduced. Number 9, she danced as if she was dancing alongside the late Michael Jackson. Oh, late Michael Jackson. Such a great icon. Such a great icon. So subjects are the same. She danced as if dancing alongside the late Michael Jackson. God rest him. What an icon. What a legend. Number 10, while she will be away on vacation, she will manage her responsibilities online. Subjects are the same. We have a form of a to be, which is be here. So we omit the subject, we omit the to be. But this will necessarily will be gone because it comes for the be. While away on vacation, she will manage her responsibilities online. Got it, my friends? Through these examples, I think kind of you grasp the idea. But here in the book, we have some examples of reduction here. I've had it typed for you here, page 122. And this is this page. Adverb clause, adverb phrase, or reduction of the adverb clause. Because when you reduce the adverb clause, it will be an adverb phrase. So now I think it's very easy for you with all those examples covered. I fell while I was running down the stairs. So I fell, main clause, you don't touch it. While, omit the subject, omit the to be, while running down the stairs. While I was walking to the library, I saw. Subjects are the same. Omit the subject, omit the to be, while walking to the library. Before I left the class, I asked. Subjects are the same. Omit the subject, add ing to the verb. Before leaving the class. Since I began this class, since beginning this class, I. After I had taken the class, had PP, past perfect, I understood. After taking the class, I understood. Subjects are the same. Omit the subject, omit, it doesn't have a to be, so add ing. After taking, and this had surely will be gone. After taking the class, I understood. more about human nature. And now exercise 23 on page 123. Here, this exercise talking about Sandy and I. Here I've had it typed for you. Exercise 23. In each sentence, change the adverb clause to a reduced phrase. So we should know that the subjects must be the same. Then we can omit or reduce. While Sandy and I were camping in the mountains, we had many wonderful experiences. Subjects are the same. We can reduce it. So we reduce the subjects and we reduce the to be. Here it says, I just grayed it out for you so you can have some time to think for yourself. While camping in the mountains, instead of saying we, I bring Sandy and I to make it clear who that we stands for. While camping in the mountains, comma, Sandy and I had many wonderful experiences. Why do we have a comma here? Because your subordinated clause starts with a dependent clause. If you start with an independent clause, comma is not needed. Here we have some examples like that. But when you start with an adverb clause, you do need a comma in between. Like this number 2 as well. Before we left for the mountains, we checked all our equipment. So here subjects are the same. Omit this we and add ing to the verb. So the answer will be before leaving for the mountains, we checked all our equipment. And my friends, be careful that equipment is a non-count noun. So collectively, equipment has a collective meaning, but it is non-count. You see, equipment, it says uncountable. In grammar, equipment is an uncountable noun. So you can say a piece of equipment, an item of equipment, but generally equipment is non-count, so be careful. Number 3, after we had found the perfect place for our camp, we put up our tent. Subjects are the same. We can omit this we and add ing to this verb, and of course had will be gone. So we say, very good. After finding the perfect place for our camp, we put up our tent. And very beautiful language for your vocabulary build up. Put up a tent. So at first when you're camping, you put up your tent, and the day after you take it down. Put up, take down for tent. Number 4, when Sandy looked around at the beautiful scenery, she was breathless. Looking around at the beautiful scenery, she was breathless. So she was so amazed, and subjects are the same. We can reduce it. And you would say, when looking around at the beautiful scenery, Sandy was breathless. So please don't say she was. We need a subject here, and we should know who that she refers to. Sandy was breathless. A very beautiful sentence. Number 5, we saw many beautiful birds while we were, so it is subjects the same. And here, interestingly, we started with a main clause. That's why we don't need a comma in between, and we will go with we saw many beautiful birds while fishing. Be careful. Don't reduce the main clause. You can only reduce the adverb clause while fishing in that beautiful little lake. And number 6, when Sandy saw me catch fish after fish, good for you, she began using the same bait. I will tell you what it means. So subjects are the same. Sandy, we can reduce it. Omit Sandy and add ing to your verb, seeing. When seeing me catch fish after fish, dependent clause, so we need a comma. Sandy began using the same bait. What is a bait in swimming? So Google image. Bait Food used to entice fish or other animals as prey for them. So this is bait. You put a bait on your hook and then the fish comes for it. So Sandy thought that it was because of the same bait that she was catching lots of fish. Number 7. I had told her before we left to use that bait if she wanted to catch a lot of fish. So this sentence has a lot of points for us to talk about. Here, I, and here, we. So are these subjects the same? I say yes. Why? Because inside we have I and some other people. So here we can also reduce this one. And we say, I had told her before leaving. Before we left, omit the subject, add ing before leaving, to use that bait if you wanted to catch a lot of fish. Number 1, fish is count or non-count? It is count. And of course non-count if we cut it into pieces, but it is count. But why does it say a lot of fish and not a lot of fishes? Because fish, sheep, the animal, deer, the animal, we have singular and plural the same. 1 fish, 2 fish, 10 fish. 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 10 sheep. 1 deer, 2 deer, 10 deer. Got it? That is the story. Number 8. After we had caught 6 fish, I told you about that. We returned to our camp. Subjects are the same. After, very good. I grayed that out to give your mind a chance to think and develop your answer. A great idea is to pause the video before I show you the answer. After catching 6 fish, we returned to our camp. It's a little difficult for your mind to say 6 fish because your mind automatically wants to say 6 fishes, but be careful, 6 fish. Number 9, we talked about the beautiful day while we were, so subjects are the same, we can reduce it, and no comma in between. Why? Because the clause starts with an independent clause, but not with a dependent one. We talked about the beautiful day while eating. Omit the subject, omit the to be. And the number 10, before we went to bed, we put up our campfire completely. Subjects are the same. Before going to bed, we put up. Very good. So please have it in your mind. Put up a fire. Make a fire in the beginning and then put out a fire. Put out a fire. Put the fire out or put the fire off. If I said up, that was a mistake, slip of tongue. Put the fire out, put the fire off. Okay, I hope you're good with the reduction of adverb clauses so far. What does our book suggest here? Page 124, another version of adverb clauses reduction. They are even more beautiful. If you're aiming for an IELTS writing 7+ or TOEFL IBT 100+, you need to include these naturally in your writing, in your speaking. Takes a lot of practice, but will work. What does it say? It says reduction of adverb clauses. If you have when, while, because, you can. You can. You don't have to. You can reduce the when, while, because as well. You can omit them. This makes it more beautiful. When my mother saw me board the plane, my mother, subjects are the same, so we can reduce it. It has a when. Omit my mother, subject. Add ing to the verb, and here we can also omit the when. Seeing me board the plane, my mother began to cry. Very beautiful sentence, very beautiful reduction. So if in your essay you have 2 of this, for example, included, that makes your writing much more professional, given that all the other parts are harmonious. While I was waiting to board the plane, I couldn't help but to think about. So subjects are the same. It is a while. We say omit I, omit was, and omit while. Waiting to board the plane, I couldn't help but to think about what the future would be like. Nice. The story of an immigrant. Because I wanted to be brave, I simply smiled. So, omit because, omit I, and add ing. Wanting to be brave, I simply smiled. Okay, the exercise 24, page 124. It says which of these clauses can be reduced, which ones cannot. The ones that can be reduced, change it into a reduced adverb clause. It says, because I didn't know how to use the public transportation system when I first arrived in the city, dependent clause. I took a taxi, independent clause. Subject, subject, the same, we can reduce it. Omit this I, add ing to didn't know. Can I say didn't knowing? No. Not knowing. Omit I, omit because, and then not knowing. Look at the answer. I have put it gray for you so you have some time to think about the answer. Yeah, it says, not knowing how to use the public transportation system when I first arrived in the city, I took a taxi. Got it? Very beautiful, very beautiful. Number 2, when I got in the taxi driver asked me where I wanted to go. Subjects are different. I, the taxi driver. So this one can simply not be reduced. This one cannot be reduced. This sentence is not incorrect. It cannot be reduced, just that. Number 3, while I was riding through, it is through. While I was riding through the city streets for the first time, I was amazed by the silence. Subjects are the same. Okay, easily your answer will be, very good, riding through the city streets for the first time, I was amazed by the silence. Okay, comma, why? Because you start with a dependent clause. Because it was pretty late in the evening, there weren't many people. Subjects are different. It, talking about time. There weren't dummy subject. No. So this one cannot be reduced. Number 5. When I arrived at the dorm, I had to pay the taxi driver. Subjects are the same. Arriving at the dorm, I had to pay the taxi driver. Nice and clean with the comma in between. Number 6, a good one. Because I had no change, I gave. Subjects are the same. You can reduce it. So, having no change, I gave the taxi driver, I want you to read it. I gave the taxi driver a $100 bill. Who said a $100 bill? Incorrect. A $100 bill. Why? Because it is, let me write it for you. A 1 hyphen 100 hyphen dollar bill. A $100 bill. And $100 is a hyphenated adjective for bill. So you do not pluralize adjectives. A $100 bill. Where do you live? I live in that 8-story apartment building. So, how many stories does your apartment have? It has 8 stories. Our apartment has 8 stories or 8 floors. But it is an 8-story apartment building. You got it? Hyphenated adjectives. How do you spell hyphen? Hyphen. I just put it down for people who want to go and search for more examples. Hyphen. Okay, going back to our story. When I gave him the change, he told me he couldn't change the $100 bill. So, can this one be reduced? He. No, it cannot be reduced. Number 8. While we were talking about what to do, we saw a police. So, subjects are the same, can be reduced. Talking about what to do, we saw a police officer coming down the street. Okay, and this one also is a reduced adjective clause. We will later talk about in subsequent videos. Number 9. Because the police officer couldn't change the $100 bill either, he advised us to go to the nearby police station. A very beautiful example here. What do you say to this one? Subjects are the same, so you can reduce it. Omit because, omit the police officer, and add ing to this. How? How do you add ing to couldn't change? Can you say couldn't changing? No. So what do you say? I want you to think. Very good. Not being able to change the $100 bill either. Not being able to change the $100 bill either. The police officer, rest of the sentence intact, advised us to go. Got it? A very beautiful example. Number 10. When I finally entered my room at 1 a.m., I couldn't believe so. Subjects are the same. We can reduce it. Finally entering my room at 1 a.m., I couldn't believe that I had spent my first couple of hours in this country in a police station. Okay? So, this was the story of reduction of adverb clauses in 2 phases. With, when, while, because, or without. Okay? Next session, our upcoming lesson will be more exercises on adverb clauses, different types, and also reductions, pages 125 to 127. And that marks the end of the adverb clause for us. These 3 pages covered next session. And then we will head for 128, which is adjective clauses. Also beautiful and also contributing to our better score. As a video review, what did we talk about today? Today we centered our talk on reduction of adverb clauses. Here I told you what a clause is, dependent, independent, what a phrase is, we checked it, and here I told you how to reduce the adverb clause. Subjects must be the same. Maybe there is a to be, maybe there is no to be. Either case, omit the subject, omit the to be, omit the subject, add ing to the verb. Very important point, subject must be the same. You know about that. So here we had some exercises on them. With ample exercises on the reduction of adverb clauses, we fully understood in different verb tenses with different types of adverb clauses, time, and also contrast, condition. We had sentences here, and then the book examples, which proved very simple for us already. And here exercise 23, the experience of Sandy and I camping in mountains, with very beautiful language and phrases that it had here. For example, put up a tent, take down the tent, make a fire, put the fire off, put the fire out. Very beautiful. Please transfer them into your vocabulary notebook. And with the examples here, we understood what the reduction of adverb clauses is. Here I told you, 124, if you have when, while, because, you can omit them as well, which is my idea, far more beautiful. And with the examples here we covered, I told you some of them cannot be reduced. Why? Because the subjects are different. This one was the same. This one is different. I, taxi driver. And here I just one more time remind you of the comma. If you start with the dependent clause, it is a comma. If it starts with an independent clause, no comma in between. So I will be looking forward to seeing you on the following lesson talking about the exercises of adverb clauses. Okay, so as my final comment, my friends, I hope that you have enjoyed the lesson. If you did, please share them with your friends, invite them to come and join the channel, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Have a brilliant day ahead of yourself and take really good care. Bye.